what have you learned about Macon? Done a lot of homework, done a lot of preparing before you got the job, and I just wondered, what did you learn?
Wow. So I'll take it back to when I first started doing all of my homework. It's a very cozy city, in my opinion. One of the first things that took me was just the level of comfort that people seem to feel and have for living in this city. I translate that to some of my most current work, seeing generations of individuals who grew up here, went to school here, and either went off or came back. Like, there's a level of pride in this city that is amazing. And I was attracted to that because of the way I started my career, spending 21 years in my hometown. So I learned a great deal about the coziness and the comfort and the love and the pride everybody has here. I also learned about how beautiful clouds can be. It's funny to have lived in the city, but now come somewhere where you can look up and almost every single night there's this beautiful cloud structure. That just blows my mind. And that might not mean a lot to some people, but it means everything to me. And I almost see it as almost just this guardian watching over the city, if you will, in terms of everything that's going on. I've learned about the opportunities. And when I say opportunities, as I visited almost every single school, I rode through different neighborhoods. And in some neighborhoods, I saw there seemed to be a thriving community in terms of resources available. In other communities, I saw opportunities to increase those resources. So as I think about those disparities and the impact that can have on our families and on our children, it was, I won't say enlightening, but it was informative to see that as I think about framing my lens in terms of how support can and should look like for my schools. Went to the museums. I mean, Macon has history, and it's just amazing history to be able to see some of the amazing work in the Harriet Tubman Museum and the Hall of Fame. I think it's the Arts and Sciences Museum. I don't know if I have the name right, but just beautiful artwork. It's just amazing to see that this is truly what I consider to be the soul of Georgia. I've heard it before, the soul of Georgia, but now to witness it, now to live here and see it for myself and hear it for myself and witness it, it's been pretty amazing. So those are some things I've learned in a nutshell.
So that homework was before you got the job. What else have you learned these 2 months being on the job, and how does that compare or contrast to?
Yeah, so it's a great comparison. As I think about, I'll start with the opportunities. It's great to see how invested people are in the city of Macon, from the construction that's happening on I-16 and I-75 to the work that different organizations are doing. There seems to be a recognition of the need for improvements and change. I think about the great work our mayor is doing, the various organizations, United Way, I don't want to start naming names, One Macon 2.0, the ministers I've met. There's a level of investment in making things better for the people of Macon and for Macon in general. Being on the job these past 2 months has really shown me how much people, again, just take pride in their city. And I've been able to latch on with a lot of individuals during this time frame, just to sit at their feet and listen and observe and just see what it means to be a Maconite. It's for real. And to have that level of conversation with individuals, and I'm talking about conversations in Kroger, in people's backyards, in formal meetings, in schools, at churches, pulling all of that together has just given me a clear view of the value that people place in this beautiful city. A standout for me is that local pride as well. So I started to hear different communities, Pleasant Hill and Bloomfield, like people take great pride in their particular areas where they grew up in. A standout for me also is the level of commitment within the schools that staff members have had. To see where people have just come up through the ranks from paraprofessional to assistant superintendents, and now they have kids who they taught who are now teaching inside the school system. Seen a lot of stories like that, and that's just been real gratifying. Another standout has to do with the city. When I say the city, I'm talking about downtown. Downtown has a real, it's like a small town home feel. It's So there's a lot to do, a lot of places to eat. Walkability is amazing, and it just makes you feel like you're in a place that matters, that's peaceful, that's safe, that people honor. That's been great. What else over the last 2 months? Those are the big standouts for me. Those are the major standouts for me. Yep. Also, so let's compare being in January when I started doing all of my road trips down here to now actually going inside the schools to see the structures, to now having gone through schools with actual students inside them. That's what brought all these buildings to life. So it was one thing to have this feeling on the outside of the building. It was another thing to meet staff members who work in the building. Another thing to go into the buildings, but then a totally different experience when kids and learning started taking place. So that's been a big standout for me, and I'm excited for the students.